Welcome to the Tax Talk, where we simplify tax administration in Lagos State and connect policy to everyday realities for residents, for employers, and business owners. Now, what are your responsibilities and obligations as a taxpayer? What is the responsibility and function of the Lagos State Internal Revenue Service? How does taxation and tax administration affect various sectors of the state's economy? These are all the questions we provide answers to for your benefit as someone resident in Lagos State. These are the kinds of questions we answer on the Tax Talk. I'm Titilayo Oyinson. Let's begin with business news.
This is business news. The Lagos State government has begun construction of a new workers' housing village at Ajasa Ikaja as part of efforts to provide more affordable homes for residents. Commissioner for Housing, Honorable Maruf Akinderu Fatai, says the project will deliver 176 modern housing units for the working class. During an inspection tour, the commissioner also visited the Igondo Housing Scheme, a 636-unit estate with community facilities, and directed contractors to speed up work for completion within the next few weeks ahead of commissioning. He assured Lagosians that homes under the Lagos Homes Scheme will remain affordable with prices below prevailing market rates to enable more low-income earners to become homeowners. The commissioner added that all ongoing housing projects are expected to be completed before the end of the year, while the government will continue close supervision to ensure quality delivery and value for taxpayers' money. And that's it on Business News.
Welcome back. Corporate Talk is where we sit with senior officials responsible for administering and implementing tax laws in Lagos State, helping us understand how the system works in practice. Today, our focus is personal income tax. And who better to join us than Mr. Ayodele Adebayo, Director of the Personal Income Tax Unit at the Lagos State Internal Revenue Service. Mr. Adebayo, it's great to have you here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's nice having you around as well.
So are we ready to begin?
I think we are good to go.
All right. Thank you. Let's jump straight in.
Okay.
Mr. Adebayo, the Nigeria Tax Act and the Nigeria Tax Administration Act 2025 fundamentally restructures personal income tax in Nigeria. Now, they've been described as a landmark reform for the country's fiscal governance framework. From a personal income tax perspective, how would you define the Nigeria Tax Administration Act and what fundamental shift does it represent for tax administration in Lagos State?
Well, thank you very much. I think basically what I would like to say is that the Nigerian Tax Act 2025 brings a lot of changes into, a lot of procedural, a lot of administrative changes in tax administration in Nigeria. And it addresses the issue of, transparency, consistencies, and a lot of areas that weren't captured, by the previous Personal Income Tax Act. So the Nigerian Tax Act is, has addressed a lot of this, and I think it's something that over time Nigerians will be appreciative or what effort has been put, into it. Now, let me also say that because you did mention what are some of the fundamental changes. There are quite some fundamental changes, most especially in the processes. A lot of things are now being digitalized, and I think that's one of the few things that Nigerian Tax Act has been able to address. Working in conjunction with Joint Revenue
Board, sir.
Board, and they've been able to cooperate extensively with NRS and the various Board of Internal Revenue in data sharing, integration, and the rest of it. But the more fundamental shift is the processes.
Okay.
Under PIT. Unlike before, when you want to file your returns, you do your filing, then assessment is done, bill is generated, then thereafter you make your payment and tax clearance certificate is issued, which is called TCC. But this time around, it is the individual, that will have to assess his or herself, do the necessary, assessment on your earnings. Okay, if you're a salary earner, how much are you earning? If you're a self-employed person, you also file your returns. And other sources of income. We have other sources of income that belongs to people. We are talking about rents, we are talking about royalties, we are talking about, income from, interest and the rest of it. All this must submitted and, filed as appropriate. And once this is done, under the new tax law now, you do it,
Sure.
Okay, and you submit. And necessary bill is generated, bill generation is done, and you submit all your relevant documents to submit what you had filed. Because if peradventure the tax authority finds out that, there were lapses in what you have filed, they have the prerogative to say, no, you haven't filed appropriately.
Okay.
So once that is done, bill is generated, your TCC is ready to be issued for you.
Okay.
So it's more of, digital integration now, unlike before, where a lot of things are done, manually.
Okay, so just to clarify, TCC is making reference to the tax clearance certificate, yes, which was probably a little more tedious to acquire beforehand. Am I right or wrong in saying that?
Yeah,
So I would love to just follow up and ask a little on structural gaps within the previous tax administration framework. Now, does the NTAA 2025 actually correct many things there?
There are so many structural gaps in the previous act. Number one is digitalization and registration. This time around, every taxpayer must be registered. And you can only register with your NIN and your national, you can only do that with your national identity number. And that national identity number is unique to you.
Sure.
So nobody can use it. Now, once that is done, those are some of the fundamental changes which you can do, you can do before. What it has also done is to ensure that a unique identifier number would also be issued to you.
Okay.
That's number 3. Number 4, it has also been able to harmonize all the, taxpayer ID issued by various states. They've been able to harmonize that in working in conjunction with the Joint Revenue Board. I must say that they've done an excellent job in that regard. With that unique identification, which is quite different from even taxpayer ID, TIN number, tax identification, which some states also use.
Sure.
So whichever one you're using, you will be able to generate your unique identification number, which only belongs to you. And I think we are getting to that line where everybody, every taxable adult, what I mean by taxable adult, every taxable adult that earns an income that is above 18 years, earns income and is able to declare his or her own income appropriately.
At this point, we need to take a short break. When we return, we'll continue this important conversation and we'll hopefully break down what it means for taxpayers across Lagos. Stay with us.
Have you had a hard time with taxes and understanding tax administration in Lagos State and the complex nature of Nigerian tax law? Do you know what agency or tier of government collects the various types of taxes? Have you ever found yourself asking any of these questions? Join us for your favorite program. The Tax Talk, your infotainment program.
Welcome back to the Tax Talk. We're speaking with Mr. Ayodele Adebayo, Director of the Personal Income Tax Unit at the Lagos State Internal Revenue Service, discussing how personal income tax is administered and implemented in Lagos State. Sir, are you ready to continue?
I'm ready.
All right.
Thank you.
Can we move a little into what's growing in public interest? Now, who is directly affected by the reforms within the personal income tax ecosystem? Which categories of individuals or entities should pay closest attention to the changes that have been introduced?
When you look at the physical ecosystem, we're talking about, and I think, employers of labor, employees generally, those that are under pay-as-you-earn are those that will, significantly be affected, and they are the ones who should pay close attention, to it, which the various tax authorities also pay close attention to. The next one are the high net worth individuals.
Okay.
We are talking about people that are, far above the minimum threshold, even slightly above that. We're also talking about, self-employed people.
Okay.
When we talk about self-employed people, we are talking about, the real estate, owners. We are talking about lawyers.
Okay.
We are talking about, every other person that does their own personal, businesses. And in addition to that, I've mentioned, the digital economy. Now, we are also looking at digital economy. So those that are involved, most especially involved in digital activities, should also pay close attention to the new act, because they need to be rendering the earnings, the incomes, and the rest.
Can you give some examples of those people in the digital economy?
We are talking about freelancers,
Okay.
crypto traders.
Okay.
These are people that are into digital currencies,
Okay.
the online, the
Yes.
streamers, and the rest of it. You just see them on Instagram, you see them on WhatsApp, you see them on LinkedIn. Okay, these are, people that are into digital activities.
Okay, sir. So I would love to go further, because there are some questions that have arisen regarding the legitimacy and scope of the Internal Revenue Service's powers under this new regime.
Yeah.
So does the NTAA 2025 clarify or reinforce LIRS's authority to administer and enforce a PIT, that's personal income tax, within constitutional boundaries?
Well, let me say that I think so far, taking a look into the Nigerian Tax Administrator Act, it has seriously reinforced the power of the state.
Okay.
Seriously reinforced the power of them. And that's in line with Section 3 of Nigerian Tax Act, which empowers the state, most especially in the areas of tax administration, in the areas of enforcement, in the areas of interest and penalty, in the areas of reporting, and so many areas. So what it has done is to empower the state, and most especially LRS, just like any other relevant revenue agency, has empowered us, to be able to achieve significant mileage. In addition to that, it has also addressed the issue on interest and penalties.
Okay.
I think that's this is one of the best that we can, ever, think of. It has also increased the previous penalties from what it used to be, addressing the issue of not filing our returns and the rest of it. So what it has done is to empower the state significantly.
Okay.
And this can be seen under Section 3 and other relevant acts, that they have put in place to assist the state.
Okay, so let's talk a bit about other concerns now, especially with regards changes to personal income tax for higher income earners. The HNIs, if you will. So why the change in tax rates, and should high income individuals be apprehensive about their tax exposure under this new framework?
Well, let me say this. When it comes to tax issue, even in the olden days, it is the people that are richer that pay more taxes than the other person. So I don't think the HNI should be apprehensive of this increase. In the sense that, one, yes, we have rates. Rate has been assigned to, to every lines of income. So they don't have to. And also, the Act also has also put in place certain, benefits. It has also put in place certain reliefs. It has also put in place certain allowances they can easily take into consideration in the course of filing of their returns. But let me also say this. Taxation is always about, progressive equity.
Okay.
Progressive in the sense that the more you earn, the more you pay, so that there will be a balance, or else there will be a serious gap and disparity, within the system, and that's what the issue of interest and the rest, that the HNI of this world are apprehensive of. So there's nothing to really be afraid of.
There's nothing to be afraid of.
Yeah.
But I believe there's a central objective of the reform to expand the tax.
Yeah. The primary objective, one, is to expand, number one, the tax net, and also as well increase the revenue that accrues to states as well, to various states as well.
But this is supposed to be done without undue hardship. There are some conversations where it makes it seem like, this is going to be harder on the little guy.
When you talk about the little guy we are talking about, for, as far as I'm concerned, are the low-income earners. And I think to a large extent, government has been able to address that significantly. Okay. When you look at, a certain threshold has been set for people, low-income earners, of I think a minimum of about 800,000 now. So for those ones, I think the government has been able to address in order to, to try as much as possible to increase their, take-homes. Okay. And then, also empower them financially, and I think this is worth, commending.
It is worth commending. Now, under the law, there are categories of persons exempt from tax. You mentioned this a little earlier on. Now, most importantly, does this exemption from tax liability automatically remove the obligation to file annual returns?
Well, first of all, let me list out categories of people that are tax exempt. The people that are tax exempt, number one, are those that falls under the threshold of the minimum wage, of which has been pegged the threshold of 800,000. They are tax exempt. Also, pensioners, are also exempt. Okay. However, there's a caveat under pensioners. Okay. The mere fact that you're a pensioner and you still earn certain incomes, from, retirement, you have put up a building, you are collecting rents. Okay. Those are incomes. Those are taxable incomes. You write books. You are an influencer. You trade in cryptocurrencies. Yes, you are retired, but you are not tired. So income from those lines, from those line of activities are also taxable. Okay. So, and also some charitable organizations, such as, institutions, churches, and some universities' activities are also, tax exempt as long as they are not into, beneficial trading activities to third parties. And also, let me say this, that even though certain categories of people are tax exempt, and this is in line with Section 163 of NCAA 2025, does not exempt them from filing of returns.
You're still watching The Tax Talk. Don't forget you can catch the full episode as well as shorts on our YouTube channel. Also, feel free to join our online community by following, by sharing, liking, or even commenting on our social media posts. On our next segment, we highlight projects and initiatives funded through taxpayer contributions across Lagos State. Up next, Tax Did It.
One of the 16 schools that will be handing over today, tomorrow, 16 schools that have been ready are in Awori Junior College, Ojo, Yuba Junior High School, Mushi, Ipara Junior College in Makiyewe, Mainland Junior Secondary School in Fadeyi, St. Luke's Junior Secondary School in Bariga, State Junior High School in Iberekodo, Badagry, Tangli Community Grammar School, also in Badagry, and of course, Lekki Community Secondary School in Benjuleki. Education sector, which is under our Teams Plus agenda. Today we're gathered here to celebrate a transformative investment into the future of our children.